Hi guys, this is Ben with Beehive Flight. Just want to do a quick breakdown of how much it costs to get your private pilot's license and where those costs are coming from. I've got broken down in two ways. One is the bare minimum flight time. You're perfect, everything goes smoothly, no hiccups whatsoever. And then I have the more realistic of like this is what you can more realistically expect to pay. So with that, we'll just move on. I'll kind of keep things going, kind of explain what each cost is. Okay, first of all, there's going to be some items you need. We're going to go down each one of these. Is you're going to want a personal tablet with a knee board. This could be an iPad or Android. It doesn't really matter because we're going to use an app. This is going to be where you're going to get all your charts. You're going to get all your charts, everything. You're going to need to be able to pull the weather from this. And then a knee board is just something that literally just it'll hold your iPad and maybe a clipboard to be able to take notes on it, strap it to your leg while you're flying. That's all a kneeboard is. Third class medical certificate. So this is required by the FAA. You got to be able to fly. You got to show that you're healthy enough that they can reasonably expect that you're not going to, your vision's good enough that you're not going to have a medical emergency. So you just go, you see an examiner, they do a checkup. 40 hours of airplane rental. We're going to have an online ground school course. We're going to have to take a written test. You're going to spend 45 hours with a flight instructor, both on the ground and in the air. You're going to have an electronic flight bag subscription. That's where you're going to have that on your tablet, where we're going to, that's just be all your charts and all that. You're going to have to take a check ride with the designated practical examiner. And then you're gonna probably want to rent the plane for about 2 hours for that check ride. So let's get started first with an oral. They're gonna ask questions. You're gonna have to answer them. That usually takes somewhere between 2 to 4 hours. Very rarely, if you go over 5, 6 hours, like, are you passing this check ride? So you want to be very well prepared, know the answers, short and sweet, simple. Boom! I had an oral that lasted 45 minutes. That was it. I was in and I was out because he's like, you're really well prepared. So this is one of those things. Um, yeah. First of all, we're going to talk about you have to get your first class medical. You can go to FAA.gov, pilots AME locator. That's just the FAA's website. You can search for a medical examiner. I have one that I really like, Dr. Leticia Archuleta. It'll cost you $160. The reason I like her is if you have anything colorful in your medical history, you've had a stroke, I don't know, anything, then she's going to know how to get the paperwork properly done. She's no funny business. This is for Utah. This is the one that Delta tells everyone to go see Dr. Archuleta. He's who I personally go see. As a flight school, we don't really care, right? As long as you got your medical, I don't really care where you go get it. I just recommend her because this is what she does full time. There's other medical examiners that they'll be have a family practice and then they do this on the side. And Dr. Archuleta is not that way, so that's why I just recommend her. You're gonna have to fill out a form, MedExpress, FAA.gov. This is where you're going to fill out an application. You're gonna put it in your medical history. You're gonna fill it all out, um, and then you're going to save it. You're gonna submit it to her. She's gonna look at it, do her examination. She'll submit it to the FAA and give you a medical certificate as long as everything's smooth. And if there's anything not, that she knows exactly how to fix it. So for your private pilot certificate, you need a minimum of 40 hours in airplane. That's the regulations. And then I went ahead and said 50 hours with an instructor. So that's in order to do ground school. If we need to go over some things, we'll do a practice oral exam to make sure you're ready for your check ride, where I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to be able to answer them. If you don't know the answer, then I'll show you where to find them. So that we can move on. So because we want you to pass that oral. The biggest thing is we just want you to get to the airplane, fly, show me how to do it. So for most people, the oral is kind of the harder part because we all enjoy flying, and I'm not going to sign you off until I know you can pass the check ride. Um, and then what I have here is a screenshot um, from Mountain Peaks Aviation. This is for their cheapest airplane. It's a 172 36 Romeo. They offer hour blocks, so the more hours you buy in advance, the cheaper it is. So if you um, so I put so I would obviously we need 40 hours minimum, so I would buy two 20-hour blocks. Each one's $3,400, so that's gonna be $6,800. This is the minimum. You're just gonna have to spend it. Um, but if you find that you need just a couple more hours to do have the hourly rental, it's a little bit more expensive. It doesn't quite have that 10% discount, but it's just a good option. We're gonna need a ground school course. I like Sporty's Private Pilots, and the reason is because they do have a subscription service where you can subscribe if you're like really good and you're like, I'm going to push this through, where you have access to all their courses. I like to pay the $300 up front because this automatically updates, and so that you can go back and you can review even after your private pilot's license. So if you, let's say you have a question where you're like, oh, I'm not real, I'm on a whim, I'm going to replay the videos of weather. And so you can rewatch the videos on weather. They have practice tests. To get, everything gets written on your thing. It's very comprehensive, very high recommended. They've been around for a long time. $200. You'll pay that to Sports directly. There are other ones like that. King School is a really popular one. I like King School. They're really good. That's who I personally use, that I've switched over to Sporties. But I recommend Sporties. They're a really good program. And just pay the $300 and have access for a lifetime and automatically updates. So it's not like a book that goes out of date. This will automatically always be good. All right. The next thing is we're going to have the electronic flight bag. This is the app that's going to go on your tablet. I like Garmin Pilot. The reason I like Garmin Pilot is two reasons. First, the GPS that we use in the airplane is a Garmin, so this will sync up to it. So you can hook your iPad up, or iPad. I use an iPad. Sorry, your tablet directly up to the Garmin Pilot. The app syncs with GPS, and so that's really nice. It has the standard plan. This is the bare minimum, so it's going to have everything that you need. So if you get the standard plan, you have everything that you absolutely need, and then the standard premium. This is to add little extra things to help. It's just nice to know, nice to have. You don't necessarily need it, but if you're flying all the time and you're doing all this cross country flying and you're going to unknown airports, then I would recommend getting the premium package. But the standard should be fine. It has everything that you need. You can always safely fly with the standard. It's $109.99 a year. Goes directly to Garmin. It's one of those things. Every flight school is going to have something. Next, we have the check ride. You have to pay for that. This is where you go up with the designated practical examiner. It takes an oral. It's an oral exam. You're going to show them your written exam that you have taken. He's going to go over it. He's going to ask questions. Should be just a few hours, and then you go up, you fly. Usually, check ride somewhere between 1.2 to 1.5 hours. I went ahead and said it's going to take 2 hours. Just expect that your flight time with the examiner is going to be 2 hours, just to plan on that for financial purposes. It does a practical examiner. This is someone that's designated by the FAA. So you're just going to pay them. You have to pay them. There's no other way to get your pilot's license except for them, or you can go with I can't think what it's called. An actual FAA employee. Those are usually a little cheaper, but they're a little harder. So this is a really high time pilot. They might be the airlines. They might be a high time flight instructor. Most of them really good. You come here, I'll explain who I would recommend. He's a really good examiner. And he definitely wants you to pass your check right. He tells it right from the very beginning. Hey, I want you to get your check. The goal is for you to get your pilot's license. You're going to pass. All right. So it's up to you, but I plan on you passing today. So here's our minimum costs. So 40 hours with the airplane, $175 or $170. So $6,800. Sports course, $299. Medical exam, $160. 50 hours with the instructor, $2,500. Guard pilots, $109. Written exam is $175. You'll go to a designated place. It's on the computer. It's multiple choice questions. You just got to pass it. Designated practical examiner is about $1,000. And then 2 hours of airplane, $378. So your total is going to be, at the minimum, if everything's perfect, $11,086. There's no way for me to make it cheaper. There's nothing we can do. That's just going to be the cost. And then the more realistic is 70 hours of the airplane. So most people do it. An average is 65. I went ahead and said 70 just to give those extra 5 hours. So that's going to be $12,000. So that's buying the 20 hours a block time plus a 10-hour block time to get that 12,000. That's how I came up with that. Then sports course, same. Medical exams, the same. 80 hours with the instructor. So that means we've flown roughly 70 hours. So we've done over 10 hours of ground. So that's gonna be $4,000. I charge $50 an hour, guys. It's just the cost. So guard pilots still $109. The written exam still $175. The designated practical examiner, or DPE, is $1,000, and the 2 hours with the airplane is $278. So it's gonna be $18,121. This is much more realistic, and if you're talking to a flight school and they're giving you a fixed cost of this is how much it's going to cost you, they're going off a bigger number like this. They're not doing the 40 hours. One school I know, they do 80. There's it's going to take you 80 hours to get your private pilot's license. They have a really high pass rate because it's literally double the amount of time as the minimum. So they'll make sure that you definitely pass, which is good, but it's the fixed cost. But the reason I like to do pay-as-you-go over fixed cost is because every student's different. So if you need 71 hours, then we can do that extra hour. If you're a savant and you're perfect and you can do it in 40, then we'll just pay for the 40. I also puts pressure on you to come prepared because that's a big thing. When you're doing flight training, make sure you're prepared for the flight, that you've studied anything your your instructor has asked you to study, that you know how to do the maneuvers, at least on paper. He'll have shown you. I'll have shown you. And so that's why I like to do pay-as-you-go. I don't really like fixed costs. If you guys really want, I'll charge you $20,000 and guarantee your private pilot's license, but I'd rather just go ahead and let you guys do it cheaper. And then the big thing is, the reason I also like the fixed cost is because it motivates me to get it as cheap as you can. I remember paying for this, so I wanted to do this as fast as I can for you guys, get you done. Here's some additional items that you're going to have to pay for that I didn't cover. You might already own these, or some of these, so I don't want to put that as a cost. Sunglasses. Guys, we're going to be flying up to the sky. There's no shade up there, right? We're not under a tree. So I would recommend just get a good pair of sunglasses. I got prescription sunglasses, so mine obviously cost a little more than someone else's. I wouldn't recommend getting polarized just because of the screens on the avionics. It makes it harder to see the GPS. If you have polarized, that makes it all fuzzy. I recommend a paper logbook. This is where we're going to log every flight. We're going to explain exactly what we did on the flight. We're going to log your flight time. I'm going to sign endorsements on the back of your logbook. There are electronic logbooks that you can do. You can pay for those too. I do recommend you have at least for the first little bit, have a paper one and then maybe as a backup and then do an electronic one also. Flight bag. This is where you're going to put all your things. You're going to put your sunglasses, your logbook, anything you're going to take for flight. You're just going to put it in this bag. I use a backpack personally, but you can go to things like pilotmall.com. You can just check it out, pick out what you want. For a while, I used nothing but a suitcase. I've used a gym bag, anything in between. I personally like the backpack because while I'm walking out to the plane, I like to just have it on my back. A tablet. The reason I just put that and put in any other costs is you might already have a tablet, so why buy another one? I know there's a flight school in the area that they get, say, if you sign up for their course, that they'll give you a free iPad. Guys, it's really just built into the cost. And so I don't want to add that cost in. So I just went and said, if you already have one, we're good. Make sure it has GPS capability so that when we're flying, you can see the little marker on your maps. A headset, you don't have to buy a headset. I have spares. I personally own 3 headsets myself, plus the Mountain Peaks has some spares when you're using the airplanes you can use. They're not the nicest. Mountain Peaks, they don't have the real nice ones. There's headsets range anywhere from like $150 to $1,200. I personally have a nice one just because I like it. It's got noise cancel. It's really nice, but you don't have to buy one. There's ones available for the air with the rental of the airplane. A water bottle. I just recommend that you have a water bottle, especially on cross-country flights. So there's a lot of talking. The air's a little thinner, so it's a little drier, especially if we're running the heater. So it's just nice to have something to drink. Make sure that the water bottle can close all the way. We don't want it spilling in the airplane, making a mess. A pen. If you want to have a designated pen, I personally have a designated pen that sits in my flight bag. It's just what I use. I like it. It's my nice pen. I bought it as a reward when I got my commercial pilot's license, so it's just the pen I have. Not just what I personally have. Kneeboard, we talked about that. You can get away with not having a kneeboard if you want to go with a tablet mount instead, which is the next item. So if you want to suction cup your iPad to the windshield and then probably use that. I personally use a kneeboard. I like it. It sits out of the way. The planes we fly, the 172s, the kneeboard doesn't get in the way. There's other planes out there that are flown that the kneeboard gets in the way, so then you want to mount your tablet up. But tablet mount, a lot of these items, any of these items, I think you can just go to Pilot Mall or any other website. You can just buy them. You can pick what you want. I recommend logbook, sunglasses, get your own headset. You have to get no tablet, and I recommend getting a kneeboard. Don't get a tablet mount. You can if you want. A lot of people use tablet mounts. Nothing wrong with that. If that's the way you want to go, that's good. Final cost is estimated between somewhere between $11,000 to $19,000, and you can pay as you go. I like the pay as you go. So if you're really good, you're on top of things, you're taking care of business, you're flying all the time, we can get you down cheaper. But if you're not the best student, let's say, or you're struggling a little bit, you're not a savant in flying, then it might cost you a little bit more. But that's the way I like it. Maybe in the future we'll change it and I'll try to do some fixed costs. But that's for now. Guys, best advice I can give you is study. When you're doing this, if when the flight instructor gives you something to study, study it out. Do not you gotta come prepared. Okay, do not just show up. The worst student is the one that just shows up. They don't really know what's going on, and then relying on the instructor to review things. Last thing you want to do is reviewing, especially when you're in the air. Once that engine's running, the cost is going, and so you want to make sure that you have everything taken care of before you actually take your flight. Thanks, guys. Hope this helps. I'll see you in the skies. BeehiveFlight.com. May you always have tailwinds. See you guys soon. Bye.